First Minister, if, as you say, you were to rejoin the EU, do you accept that means a customs border with the rest of the UK? And that will inevitably cause massive disruption to Scottish trade?
So I accept the premise of the first part of your question. I don't accept the second part. And actually, I set that out in summary in my opening remarks, and it's set out in more detail in this paper. Firstly, if Scotland rejoins the EU, of course, we are regaining access to the single market, which is 7 times the size of the UK market. And we are regaining access to customs-free trade across the entirety of the customs union. That is a massive advantage. And if you look at, and I'm not suggesting that Scotland would automatically emulate the experience of any other country. We have to take our own decisions and earn our own success. But just as an illustration, if you look at the experience of the Republic of Ireland when it joined the EU back in the 70s, it massively diversifies its trade away from what at that time was substantial reliance on the UK market towards the European Union. So there's an opportunity for us to diversify trade. What I set out in my remarks and what is covered in detail in the paper is that the decision of the UK to be out of the European Union, if Scotland is back in it, does mean there is a requirement for arrangements to be put in place to ensure the continued trade between Scotland and the rest of the UK, which is important. We look separately at services and goods in this paper. Most of Scotland's trade with the rest of the UK is in services. Some service sectors are not subject to UK or EU regulation, so would continue as is. Business training, management consultancy, for example. Other parts of the service sector we would require in the current arrangements allow individual EU states to have bilateral arrangements with the UK, and we would seek to do that. With goods, manufactured goods, we actually export more to the rest of the world than to the UK, which is why getting back into that single market is important. But we would learn from international best practice that right now, if you look at Norway, Sweden, for example, the use of technology to ensure that these arrangements were implemented in a way that did not disrupt trade between Scotland and the rest of the UK. Again, I'm not standing here saying all of that is without challenge or all of it is always straightforward and easy, but it is not, these challenges are not insurmountable if we do the proper thinking, analysis and planning, which is what we kick off with this paper today.